and I am trying out a new DLC for Paintr VR. It's called the Voxel DLC because you have these voxels. And in case you don't know, a voxel it's like a pixel with volume. It's a volumetric pixel, so voxel. And I painted this alien punk rock girl, and she's painting the wall of Area 51 or something like that. But an interesting thing about this program is that it lets you mix this world of voxels, which are they're cubes, which you might know. I mean, many people look at it and say Minecraft, but voxels existed before and after Minecraft. That's just one example of them. And it is a direct sort of, see, in VR art, everything is fully three-dimensional. You can look behind everything. You can look so. And there are also some new features that they have updated which aren't part of the DLC. Like, notice she has hair. There's a hairbrush that you can use. They've updated the program in various ways since the previous version, and you can see the way the hairbrush works. It's really useful for spiky hair like a hedgehog, or what hedgehog would you make, you know? But not really going to be very useful for human hair unless it's spiky like punk rock. And you notice that I blended a few different types of strokes. This looks like grass on your lawn or something like that. And you notice you can have small or large examples. Anyway, enough with that. I'm going to go and start an entirely new thing so you can see. But I just wanted to start out with something that would show off what is going on here. And in fact, I can go in, I can erase away all of these pieces. Oh, interesting. So I can't erase the voxels until I go into voxel mode, but I can erase the rest of the art. See, all of the polygons and lines and stuff that make her up are disappearing. Go back here and erase these sort of background practice lines. Now go into, so if I was in voxel mode, I can erase these, but I'm going to start a new piece entirely. So we go to, let's see, reset. That is correct, yes. All right, so I have this blank gray background, and I can choose what kind of background I want to use from a few selections. So I'm going to start with voxels this time. And from this menu, the sort of file menu that they have, I can enter this world of voxels. So the first thing you can see is that they are connected. Let's see, oh yeah, in voxel mode. All right, so we have specular, diffuse, and self-illuminated. Specular is shiny, diffuse is not shiny, and then self-illuminated, I'm not sure. But I think self-illuminated is kind of like a flat, I'm not sure. Well, let's find out. All right, so here is, I'm filling in voxels, and I can put them in, you know, one at a time. See, I can pick a color, different colors of voxels. And there's the shading. It's a lot of fun. Instantly, I was having fun as soon as I downloaded this. See, we'll just take a look. Diffuse, what is the difference? Go back. at this point I don't really see a lot of difference. Self-illuminated. Okay, self-illuminated. You can see that self-illuminated has no shading. It seems to be, well, glowing from within. It is self-illuminated, so you don't have to worry about shadows. And suppose you're doing like retro game art or something, you have, you know, your alien or something like that is walking off the world of retro games or something like that. But I don't know. That might be used for like the glowing eyes or something of a character, but I think it looks better if, oh, interesting, I can't cover over the voxels that are in there. But I will use the eraser, erase these out, and then I can put some more in. I like the look of it with shading. That it naturally gives it more of an interesting realism there for it to be shaded. Okay. Yeah, you can choose any color of the rainbow. They just give you these suggestions here. And yes, the program is only one-handed still. You can't. I have another PlayStation Move controller in my other hand, but it is not. It doesn't appear. It doesn't show up. You can't do anything with it. And I think that it's nice of them to allow you to do it with one controller, because that means even if you don't have a PlayStation Move controller, you can still play with a standard PlayStation controller, though it is slightly more clumsy to do it that way. But I would like the option of being able to paint with both hands. Why not? That would be fun. Or maybe you could, as in some of these PC VR art programs, you would be able to be painting with your main hand and then selecting the color and the tools with your other hand. That is a kind of natural thing to do. So that would be good. And you know, they have made this DLC, which adds some fun to it. It does, but they still need to add a lot more basic features to the app as well. And yet, it is one of the only art programs available on PlayStation VR. So it is still pretty incredible that they are doing this. And so be happy. Definitely buy this app if you think this looks interesting. Take a break from blowing everything up with laser beams and machine guns and stuff like that, because most of the PC VR, most of the VR titles, I hate to say, are blasting things with machine guns. That tends to be most of them. And that's it's kind of depressing, actually, because there are so many other things you could do in the world, and maybe make yourself more creative, or just enjoy making something, and think about how much more skill and brain power it takes to make something, to build something, rather than to destroy something. Even if it is like in these game makers, you build something and other people come back and destroy it. But at least they can destroy it repeatedly and come back. But so here we're getting a nice little just abstract pile of cubes or something, and he's often forgotten these days, but you might remember Cubert which was a classic game where you would be climbing over a bunch of colorful blocks and you would be changing the colors. Qbert did not invent voxels either. In fact, the sharp ones among you will realize that those were not voxels. They were an imitation of voxels, or just cubes being rendered with regular pixels, because the technology for rendering things in full detail like we have now was just not available at the price range of arcade cabinets. They had it for movies like Tron. They had it for like military flight simulators and things like that. But they didn't have it for consumer devices. And there were a few games with Vector 3D in there. See, what I can do that's interesting is I can blend the world of voxels, the sort of voxel layer, with my non-voxel three-dimensional art layer. And that is cool, because in the previous scene I was making a wall for her to spray paint on. And in this case, it's just an abstract picture until I decide on some not abstract things to maybe add to it. But you can see I can even have the two layers going through each other. And that is one advantage of VR and 3D art, is that objects, if you choose, can go through each other, behind each other, in front of each other. They can do all of these different things that it's actually more difficult to make things going in front and behind doing 2D art, because, well, if you're on a paper, you don't even have layers to deal with. But if you're on Photoshop, you have these flat layers, but they aren't really three-dimensional. Here, I can take this ribbon or whatever it is and move my structure here to be more in line with my PlayStation Move sensor. But here I am wrapping the ribbon all around this. Tie a yellow ribbon, right? Tying a yellow ribbon around this structure, and it goes completely around without me having to use multiple layers. It just works. And I find that interesting, and it's sort of incredible to just be able to do that. So, suppose I am satisfied with this thing, and let's see, I'm going to change the background color here before I save it. And let's see, that is in options. And yes, I would like the option to be able to set your background color to whatever you choose, instead of just these few limited selections. And the other thing is, you can change your lighting options. You can have it angle from a few different ways, and that's cool. I thought it looked interesting to have her scene lit from sort of below. It brought out an interesting sort of dimensionality to it. So I decided to go with that, but for your different scene, you might think about how the lighting should be arranged. But it would be great if we had the ability to really just put the lighting anywhere, and even, oh wait, you can change the color of the lighting. Can you? Change the color of the light. You can. Wow, look at that. See, just by flipping through things, you can discover different things. And because my scene was pretty colorful, I guess I will just go with regular light. But suppose that I had some other sort of a scene, like maybe firelight or weird green light or blue light or something coming from your TV monitor late at night, right? then I might select a blue light. But yeah, it would be great to just be able to choose any rainbow color out of here. They don't have red, for example. And this green, this is a nice green. It's forest, but that's not really a forest green. It's more of a leaf green if you think about it. Forest green is kind of deeper dark green. It's almost this. Okay, that's good enough. Don't be too picky. And you can select your music. That's interesting. You can, if you put music on a memory card, a USB drive, you plug that into the front of your PlayStation, and then you can play your music off of it. So I'm going to go to this menu, and then I'll do save to the console. You can save to your USB drive. And in fact, you can export this DAE or STL file. That is really cool. That makes this thing that it might be kind of a beautiful toy, but as you get the ability to export things, the scene has been saved. All right, good. As you get the ability to export things, that turns it into a possible professional tool. And when they ask you, what did you use to design your mansion? You say, oh, well, I used Paintr VR on my PlayStation. I designed my whole mansion that way. And they won't believe you. But you could start out the very basic design on here and lay it out, especially with these voxels. And then you could export it into some sort of CAD or designer or something, and then add all of the fine details to the design. I'm going to go back to voxel mode again. I've got to keep remembering, voxel mode is in the... And it would be better if it was just in among the rest of the art tools. Oh, block. Free or block. What does that mean? Block painting. Whole blocks made of voxels and build faster. Thank you. Aha, good. All right, that is good. Oh, I got a achievement just for doing that. So yeah, you could lay out a nice large area if you wanted to by bringing up these big things. So yeah, it looks like they don't have a straight line tool, which would also be nice. But let's see what happens when I turn this to smooth voxels. Oh, interesting. So the voxels I already put down, which are not smooth, that's nice. You can mix the three kinds of voxels. Mix them together. Mix and match. And there's even an edge between the smooth and not smooth voxels. That's good in case you are making two kinds of options. So yeah, these are rounded. Look very carefully, their edges are rounded down. And then, let's see, what else can I do? These retro, this is what I was using on the wall there. They have a very clear, got another achievement just for using that. Oh, I feel so proud of myself. All right. There. Oh, I just made a Rubik's Cube, right? Oh, but it's got one rank too many. That will make everyone confused. Yeah, that could be good. And I just thought of something. Let's see. I will go ahead and clear this once again. Yes. If I wanted to make a brick wall that looked like brick, before I forget this idea, I'm going to do it. So I'll take I'll take some voxels here and use a red color. And then I'll use the style, make it diffuse so it's not shiny. Oh, make it shiny. I like shiny. Oh, you can do symmetry too in voxel mode. That's nice. All right. Then it's in here. There. All right, smooth. So that's a brick. That's a brick. Bricks. You can see where I'm going with this. Wait, that's wrong. What am I thinking? So that's a brick. There. But then have it like that. Oh, but now it's a tetromino or something like that. But put these, like this, like that, right? Have some bricks. People who are always remaking the graphics from Mario and Tetris and everything like that, just have some more imagination, please. There are so many other things that you could do. Let's see. Oops. It's locking in. That's too bad. So I can't really get that brick look. Oh well. Still looks like brick. It's not too bad. Then follow the yellow brick road, right? Oh, now it looks like a dingy green brick. Green? No. Maybe gray. Gray bricks. That's good. Color still doesn't look right for bricks, does it? But, oh well. You can see what I was trying to do, to try to get those edges. Oh wait, I know. I know what I'm going to try. So, do that, break these things away. Okay, so, got those edges on it. Then I'll try using normal brick. Aha! There we get an edge. So, put those normal bricks in there, and there's an edge between that and those other rounded bricks. Still can't do over that. So, then I'll add even more. I'll add some retro bricks. Oh, it's like one of those transparent brick walls or something. So, make them light gray. There, I guess we can't do transparent brick, but there. There they go. And put them in. Sort of worked. It's an interesting idea, but just look at that. Look at all those interesting little things. Another thing is you can't change the scale of the voxels. You can't make them big or small. They are one size. They are stuck at that, and it would be kind of cool if I could have multiple layers. Do I have multiple layers to use? I don't think on this app I do yet have multiple layers. Hopefully they would add that at some future point. Because then you could make the skeleton of your character or something like that. And then you could put the outer layers on, or you could say one layer of the scene is the character, and then one layer is the background, then one is like fire and other effects that you might have. And Yep, it feels sort of solid until you realize it's absolutely weightless. So there, I'll just leave that and I'll save this. Choose a different background color. It's interesting. Some of the background color goes onto the object. There, deep blue. No, it's underwater. Sky, that's better. So we have this thing, and that is that. Just here, waiting to be finished or not at some later time. Save it to the console. Then you take a little snapshot, you see. And the scene is saved. So I'm going to, let's see, we'll start yet another time. I'm sort of just showing off all of the features to you. And the DLC is, it's $10, and I think the original price of the program, I bought it a while ago, I don't remember. Was it 17? Was it 15? Was it 20? Something like that. So that's a fairly expensive DLC, and I don't know. That might be priced kind of high, but like I said, it's one of the only apps that you can play on PlayStation VR right now that is art. So if you like art, I say go ahead and support them. These companies need to make some money, pay their programmers and everyone else, artists. And if there are companies that are doing the kind of thing that you care about on your system, whether that is PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, or PC gaming, or Mac, iOS, all these platforms that you can choose from. But the developers, they need your support. And every time you support an app, every time you buy an app or a DLC or anything, you are, in a way, voting for what you like. So if you want more nonviolent puzzle games, if you want more art games, then buy some art games. That is the surest way that more of them will appear. I know. I'll do a nice checkerboard scene with black and white checkers. I've done that too many times before. Delete that. Let's see. I know. I'll draw some pixel creatures in the middle of the air. And then add some other stuff to it later. There it goes. And this. So here is some sort of a pixel thing happening, and then over here, something else. Retro games. It's like the graphics were simple with just basic sort of pixels. That was all that were available with early raster graphics. But somehow that simple design made a lot of interesting things appear. It ended up being a pretty cool time for design. And now that graphics can do anything, there are a lot of poor choices in design being made. There's a lot of apps that they just look like a mess. There's no cohesive style to them. So sometimes, as they will tell you, sometimes limitations can be good if they make you really think about things. And yeah, so these could be characters from any imaginary early 8-bit game. Because later on you get multiple color sprites, but early on you didn't have any multicolor sprites at all. You had to make do with single colors. The other thing is these are all apparently flat beings. They don't have any voxel dimension to them. They are just pixel things rendered as a three-dimensional thing. Then just some dots, blocks out in the middle of everything. Maybe these are lasers, or maybe these are the tokens that these characters have to collect. Think about it in a Bob Ross terminology. These are happy little pixel creatures, and these are some happy little blocks or something. Few other color. I'm going to change the background. Wait. Oh, zoom out is limited. This impediment appears only when you paint voxels. Interesting. What does that mean? Oh, I see. You can zoom in or, whoa. You basically, when you're in zoom mode, I forgot how to do that before. These lenses appear, steampunk, but you are essentially changing the scale of the world around you, and that could make you a bit sick, actually. But just like Alice getting the scale of the world around her changed. But see, I go into options. Change the lighting to the top. To the right. Oh wait, I could make a different color of lighting. Blue light, oh, it's underwater. Yeah, that's another example of a good color scheme. You could have it underwater. Or you could have everything be a bit yellow. But having it a bit yellow wipes out the blues, doesn't it? I'll go with a bit yellow. That's good enough. Then go to my options. Wait, oh wait. Yeah, that deep blue works. It's sort of like a darkened arcade environment or something. So what else can I now include with my not voxels? I'll put down a few more voxels, why not? While I am here, more voxels. More of them. There, that looks good. Yeah. This is getting a real sort of classic gaming feel to it. Almost like the cover of one of those games, because they would always make it look way more interesting, or they would make the graphics look super cool on the cover to get you to buy the game. Let's see. Change. But it was also about having you imagine everything. Like the cover would suggest what you were supposed to imagine. Maybe there's laser beams, lasers, being fired from the eyes of this. Does he have eyes? Laser beams. And then maybe some more lasers over here. Lasers. Always the red and blue lasers sort of crossing over, right? That's the battle between the red and blue lasers. You're always there. And I don't know about that. Don't cross the streams, right? And with all of this, maybe there is an explosion. Oh, wow. Fire, sparkles. What does fire look like on this app? It burns. Doesn't look very good, though. It just, like little clouds. The tilt brush clouds are, the tilt brush fire, definitely much better than that. Snow, little bits of, look at that. It's snowing, it's snowing. You could, but dust. Dust is very, very subtle in this program, but it just hovers around you a bit. But a little bit of dust gives you a feeling of being in a space. So various apps will use that feature to give you more of a feel of dimension. The fog. There, I was using the fog for spray paint, but maybe the fog is for an explosion or something like that. So, but not blue. Maybe we need yellow fire. Yellow fire. Adding in some volumetric thickness. The fog system has reached its full capacity. Oh, that's lame. Look at that. It's not much fog. Oh well. Don't push it. Let's see. Deform. Oh no, bending the lasers. Can't do that. Oh no, I can't unbend my lasers. What a shame. Wait, I did. I just did. I fixed them. Kind of. Fixed them. Not really fixed. That's kind of cool though that it's bent. Make it look like I meant to have them bent. No, no, that's not good. All right, we're going to delete those lasers because I just can't get them back to the way they once were, and we'll draw them again. Time I will do square lasers. And what else? Self-illuminated? No, they should be specular like the rest of everything else. No, they look better as triangles, didn't they? Yeah. Lighter blue laser. Zap. Then into this world of voxels, sort of platonic solids, we go back and look at some of the other features of this app. I'm going to finish this video off quite soon. Oh, I guess not. I'll keep going. Some other color sphere. Gray. This theme of pixelized. Wait. Over here, behind everything else, put a very large sphere. How large of a sphere can I get? Let's see. Huge. Too high up there, so go into this mode. Then I can grab an individual object and move it down. Kind of cool. It looks like a planet with moons or something going on here. What else? What else we'll have? Go back from voxel mode to paint mode. Like I said, I would prefer it just blend it in as another paint tool, you know? But I'm glad that they did it. Planes, hemispheres, capsules. And I'll just mention, oh, the organic shapes are cool too. Cylinders, cone. A cone. Why is a cone involved in this situation? A lot of times with the 80s, they would just be, they would just throw a bunch of platonic solids around a scene just because that was the new 3D thing to do, to remind you, oh, everything is all 3D. These things look like a bunch of candy corns or ice cream, bird beaks or something weird just out there. Candy corns. It is almost October, right? Forced perspective, just scattering them off into the distance there. It works. I guess they are candy corns. All right. I'm having a great time doing this. Like I said, if you really care about art, support the apps and get the DLC, because that is good. And after they sell a lot of copies, hopefully they'll add a few more features to this app, because there's still a lot of things missing, like the cone. I can change the size of the cone, but I can't change the little details of the way the cone is shaped. You know what I mean? I can't make a sharp cone or a wide, fat cone. You know what I mean? Or to really get across this point. Get the point. Right. So with the cylinder, I can make a cylinder, but I can't make a long cylinder. I can only make this size, which at this looks like candy or dog food or something, cereal. But sausages, carrot slices, whatever you think it is. But it would be better to be able to define the size of those shapes. And we have these organic shapes, which are cool. Just do an organic shape right here. It's a blob. It's a blob of carrot sauce or something. Or to actually do a carrot, what would I do? Revolve the shapes. So there's a carrot. Looks kind of like a big fat carrot. Or, yeah, a carrot. But you can also do some weird shape. Donut or a pumpkin almost. Just get that rounded sort of thing going on. Is that a pumpkin? Could be the start of a pumpkin. But, yeah. But it would be cool if they had like the hull feature, which is on Tilt Brush now. You can make more complicated shapes with that. You can make a flat organic. And that looks like an artist palette or something. Or make Pac-Man, why not? But it would be great if I could make some hard corners on that. Like get the edge of Pac-Man's mouth to be completely straight. So there's a Pac-Man. What if I apparently Pac-Man's shape was inspired by eating a pizza at Namco. So They just had that idea from there. You never know when you're going to get a really interesting idea. And notice I can reshape this. This is very powerful, or it could be. In the right hands, you could make a modern art sculpture with this, or you could make, draw out somebody's hand flat and then bend the fingers into whatever. Yeah, I should do a lot more with this actually. On another couple of videos, I have made various figures, and there are people who are much better than me modeling things. Most of them are using the PC VR apps, and I like those too. But there are a lot of people who can't afford a gaming PC and the VR, but I've got to say I have both of them. The PlayStation VR is good enough to make you feel like you're in virtual reality. It's not as amazing as the PC VR experience, but it's also half to 1/3 to 1/4 of the price, depending on what you're comparing it to. So I say, if you're interested in virtual reality, if your kids are into technology, they, depending on, they will exist in this world where VR is just everywhere. No, don't erase it. And they are going to need to understand the world of virtual reality and augmented reality and all of these other realities, and they will just be basically layered on the reality that we know as the real world, the standard world. And people say, oh, we're in a simulation and all of that. And I say, well, yes, we could be, but I don't believe that. But I also admit that we can't really prove that it is not true, because it could be an ultimately realistic simulation, right? There, save that to the console. Then, let's see, close this. Do one more thing. I'm having a great time, can't you see? Anyway, if you like videos about high-tech creativity, how do I usually describe it? It's creative tech, right? If you like videos about creative tech, technology, and all of these things, please subscribe to my channel, VJ Franz K, and consider becoming a Patreon supporter. Start out with Voxel, so I have to go back, yes, to the file menu to get that. And choose another kind of voxel. There. Materials, self. There it is. Voxel mode. Menus are getting a bit convoluted. Don't let them get convoluted. I'll use smooth voxels this time. Leave them perfect, and that is one thing I've liked about this app from the beginning, is how sensible the menu organization is. And I've been a beta tester for Dreams on the PlayStation, which is an incredible app. You can do all of these things. You can make your own game app inside this game app. So the inception of apps, right? But I admit the user interface for Dreams has just, it has me totally confused, and I want to make things, and I just can't do it. And I was on the beta, and I mentioned to them this user interface, I can't deal with it. And yeah, I was ignored, but that's okay. At least I said what I felt. If you're a beta tester, you should, that's what they need from you, is your honest, there, nice little, whatever it is, structure to begin with. Maybe start out with that. That's looking like a face, isn't it? So maybe I start from here, then change this lighting. Go to light, the background, there it is. Front, back, left, right. Do the back there. That looks cool. Yeah. Think, what would MC Escher do in this situation, right? Then there. Turn my color to be completely flat once again. Anyway, I cover as many creative tech apps as I can. As you know, I mostly do music, but I do also have a fair amount of VR and visual art involved in the equation as well. So if you have apps in that style that are creative in terms of graphics or sound or animation or things, I would like some promo codes to help me just cover more things. So if you're an app developer, please send me some things that you think I would be interested in covering. Wait, I've gotten out of voxel mode. That's right. No, don't. Go to voxel mode, then go to erase mode. There. Just bring it up, this and that, things. Add a few more spots. Going off in different directions. Wait, how did I get out of voxel mode? Anyway, I was closing off the video with my closing words. Keep getting distracted by doing more art, right? But yes, I like Paintr VR. It's a lot of creative fun, and even if your kids just want a lot of exploding games, you should probably buy them this too, because maybe they'll try it, and then maybe they'll suddenly just say, wait a minute. I prefer building stuff over blowing stuff up. Maybe that is the life that I should take. Just think about that, how much that could really make a difference if you buy them a set of markers instead of Nerf machine guns or whatever it is. Starting to look like a face here. So I'll go out of voxel mode then and add on what am I going to add? Some other, I know, I'll doodle a happy face on there or something like that. With light green crayon. Wait, what am I doing there? Oh, it's a straight line, I see. Know what mode you're in. It would be great if I could make a straight, line there, but I've figured it out already. Nose or something. Add in eyeballs. Yeah. It could be a lot cooler. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. VJ Franz K. This is the high-tech lifestyle, and we are living it to the fullest.